Hi, welcome back to my channel to discuss about the functional programming in Java. So we have seen what is the functional programming, and we also seen like what are the different things Java is providing to implement the functional programming, and we have already seen what is the advantage of using the functional programming. So in this example we can see how to implement the functional programming in Java with some examples. Okay, so this is one of the interface like I created, like it's a functional interface. I can annotate it with the functional interface, okay, to tell the compiler, okay, that this interface is a functional interface. So the compiler will make sure that this interface is not having more than one abstract class, okay, and it can have any number of default class. Okay, so the compiler will make sure about the policy. Okay, so this is my functional interface. So here I have written the implementation for those interface using the lambda expression. So the interface has a method called say hello, which accept one integer parameter. So I'm just passing that one parameter, and I'm giving my implementation. So similarly I'm creating another implementation, and I'm creating one more implementation. Okay, so now I want to execute each of these implementations. Okay, so to this function I'm passing this count. Maybe we can print that integer, right? Hello world t, we can print that parameter. So that way, like, I'm passing the integer argument to this function, and we can, when executing it will print a system.out.println like hello world or hello man or hello woman, based upon what reference we used to execute this say hello. Okay, so this is an example to show you how to write our own functional interfaces and how to write the implementation for that, and how to execute those implementation. Okay, so this is a simple example. Now let's see like the Java provided functional interfaces, right? So Java is providing is a consumer interface. So consumer interface is nothing but which accept any number of arguments, but it never return any value. Okay, that is a consumer interface. Okay, so consumer interface mostly used in the for each, like in this example, like I have a print as a consumer interface, right? So here my implementation is system.out.println, and just want to print, right? So I am passing that consumer interface to the for each to print the stream of array. Okay, so consumer interface is nothing but which accept any number of arguments, but it's not going to give you any output. Okay, any return, I mean not output, any return value. Okay, so that's a consumer interface. So here is another example, like how I am passing the array as a parameter and sorting it. So consumer interface has a default method called accept. Okay, so I'm just trying to see what's the value of the accept here in this line. Okay, what is the value of the array after sorting? Okay, so that is an example of how to make use of the consumer. Okay, and we have a supplier. Okay, supplier I have already covered here. So supplier interface is nothing but which is in contrast to the consumer. It actually return the value. Okay, like it won't take any input, but it returns you something. Okay, if you take an supplier, it will be returning some random, like as per your implementation, it can return you any int. Like you should be expecting some integer value from the supplier. Like it can also return some any object, right? So you can have your own supplier interface, okay, to return something. So supplier is basically something which will be returning you some values, okay. So here I'm using the int supplier, okay. The supplier has a default method called get as int, using which I can get a value from the supplier and return it, okay. So this is a supplier interface, and we have a predicate. Predicate is something which accept a parameter and return a boolean value, okay. Basically we can do all the if else check using the predicate. So what I'm doing here, I'm just checking the values, okay, and the result will be stored in the predicate, okay. So in the stream we have a filter method. The filter method actually accept the predicate, okay, and for each accept the consumer, which we saw earlier, right? So for each accept the consumer functional interface, filter accept the predicate functional interface, okay. So this is how we can use the predicate interface. And the last one is how to make use of the functional reference method reference, right? So I have a sorter method, and this is a sort way of calling the comparative in the string object, right? So I'm using the method reference to call the comparative method of a string object. So um, so so this is how to use the method reference, okay. And we do have some of the legacy functional interfaces, okay, like so this is a traditional way of writing a thread using the anonymous class, right? So now with the functional interface, okay, I have a runnable functional interface. So it's just one line code, right? Getting a runnable reference and passing that to a thread and start a thread, right? So it's just one line of code. Similarly, I have a comparator functional interface, which is another legacy functional interface. So here just it's a one line code to compare the string, right? Instead of writing all the if else conditions, it's a one line code. So that's all. So we have seen some examples like how to use the different interfaces provided by Java, and how to write our own interface, how to implement them, and how to execute them. So we have seen all these things in this session. Hope you like it. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel, so we can discuss more in the future videos. Thank you. Bye.